Welcome to the Dr. Remina Pinchwani Show, where we're optimizing wellness together. I am your host, Dr. Remina. There's so much talk these days of longevity, healthy aging, wanting to maintain their youth. So let's dive into what exactly is longevity and how do you age gracefully? Everyone has to age. Aging is inevitable, but becoming decrepit and losing quality of life can be preventable or limited. And you can do so as science has become so advanced these days. We identify certain pathways and combining that with lifestyle factors, you can lower your biological age. So even though your chronological age may be advancing, but you can per se age backwards if you do things correctly. Now you're saying, Dr. Remina, is it that simple? Lifestyle can make such a big difference? Absolutely. Although your chronological age continues to increase, your biological age does not. So there are certain things that are in your control, such as lifestyle factors, well, certain aspects of it, right? If you think about environmental exposures, you can decrease your exposure. However, there are other things that are under your control, such as what you put into your body and how you sleep, how you exercise, the right type, etc., right? So let's dive into the pathways that are the hallmarks of aging. One of the markers includes insulin resistance. Think about it. Our ancestors lived in such an active lifestyle. They hunted all day, they exercised constantly. Now, they probably didn't live long enough to develop insulin resistance and develop diseases that are pushed due to insulin resistance, such as diabetes, heart disease, dementia, strokes, etc., because they might have been eaten by bears or whatever was out there. However, in our present society, it is an issue. Obesity is a serious issue and it can be preventable, right? We have to look into root cause and practice true prevention. So if you can manage insulin resistance, that gives you a handle on one of the pathways that ages you faster. The next one I want to talk about is sirtuin. There's a study done in mice that looked at sirtuin, and it's one of the pathways that is tied into aging and gene expression. So you could activate certain factors in that pathway directly or indirectly, and yes, lifestyle plays a component, and we can dive deep into that in a few minutes. But there's a component in that pathway called NAD. So if you go to these IV bars, they offer a substance called NAD, and it pulls into this pathway, which is part of the key to longevity. So you may notice that you feel energetic, but you may feel energetic and it's through this pathway. Part of it too, if you look at other longevity, if you look at healthy aging, you look at energy. What is energy? It's your mitochondria. It's the cell powerhouse in your body. So a lot of these pathways also tie into that, and you can influence it lifestyle as well. So the next one we can talk about is mTOR. mTOR, it's like a switch. You could turn that switch on or off. mTOR can be turned on by protein. So the amount of protein, the type of protein, but also with sugar, right? Think about the processed foods. So yes, it can help, but you also want to break. You don't want to have that switch on all the time because it can lead down to disease and accelerated aging. So for instance, what you could biohack your way into this is the concept of intermittent fasting or time restricted eating. What this does is it allows your body to rest and clean up. So it can regenerate the good healthy cells and clean up and recycle the old cells that no longer serve you and back up your system and prevent it from functioning effectively. Another pathway is AMPK. It also helps with the longevity pathways, and you can turn that pathway on by adding in foods or even supplements. Think about like turmeric, curcumin. You could also add in quercetin and so forth. So the other part that I wanted to bring up is inflammation. And what exactly is inflammation? Inflammation ages you. So one of the major pathways, if you look at the biomarker of NF-kappa B, it is one of the biggest drivers of inflammation. Now, inflammation can be controlled and influenced by lifestyle factors as well. Some that you can control, some that you can't. But if you look at it, the way that are you active? What types of foods are you eating? Are you sleeping? Do you live a stressful lifestyle, right? All that can contribute to inflammation, and you can control that. So let's talk about pointers of how to control it. Now, that was just a scientific explanation of the pathways that are relevant to aging. There's many more, but these are some of the key ones. And the best part, the pieces of advice that I'm sure you're waiting for, is what can you do to have a healthier, optimal life? So let's talk about exercise. Are you doing the right type of exercise? We look at HIIT training, high intensity interval training. It helps you increase VO2 max, which is a marker of cardiovascular benefit, right? And also add in the right type of cardiovascular exercises. Add in, of course, the yoga, or anything that relaxes you, that decreases the stress response, which in return decreases inflammation. So if you do a combination of high intensity resistance training, weight training, add in some cardio, and then some recovery, breathwork, yoga, that will help as well. Think about the foods. If you could try to, of course, eat the closest foods, if you could eat whole foods, less processed, that will also be beneficial. And add in things that are anti-inflammatory, like turmeric. You also have green tea extracts and resveratrol, right? That is found in wine, but you'll have to consume a large amount of wine, and then it goes down to tipping you over to inflammation and destroying your liver. You don't want to do that. You could find it through foods like grapes. There's also another biomarker that you can add in. You can add in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli. It's high in sulforaphane, and that activates something called glutathione. And if you look at people that live longer and healthier, the glutathione levels are higher. And that is also a marker that, if you look at glutathione, it's higher in people that have a longer lifespan. So that's another way to tap into. You could also use it with IV infusions. You could take oral forms, or also get it with food. So, of course, I want to add in a word of caution. The type of supplements you take are only as good as the lifestyle you lead. If you live a highly inflammatory lifestyle, then nothing you do will offset that. So, food is medicine, exercise is medicine, your mindset as well. So, in summary, the lifestyle choices you make can impact your goal of longevity. If you enjoyed today's show, share with your friends and family, and of course, subscribe. Thank you so much for your support.